Hi, this is Pop Pop, and this is Pop Pop's Prison Survival Guide. I'm sorry I've not put a video up for a couple of weeks. Been a bit disillusioned, a bit lethargic, a bit just can't be arsed, really. Uh, but I realise it is time to actually pull my finger out my arse and get motivated. So, this video, I looked at some of the other videos I've made, and they're terrible. You might like them, but personally, I think they're terrible. I'm going to have to learn editing. I'm going to have to get an intro and outro and just make the thing a bit smoother. I'm going to have to stop going off in tangents uh, and stop going every 5 minutes. Looking back on them, it's like back in the 70s and 80s when you tape record your voice, play it back, it's horrendous. This is the same with the videos. So I'm going to try and not be too hard on myself and criticise myself. I'm doing it again. Anyway, this video, I just want to, I want to talk about me. There you go. Something I know well, me. Okay. Remember I told you about the first time I went to court. Now, this is kind of funny. I'm going to show some photographs in this video. Right, the first time I went to court, when they'd done the raid on my house and they found whatever they found, of course, they never had computers back in the days, but they took like any paperwork you had around, notepads, whatever, which basically was a computer in the early 90s, late 80s. Yeah, instead of a computer, what was that thing? The Filofax and stuff like that people used to have. It wasn't mobile phones, it was pagers back then. So you never had all that to worry about. But when they took cash out of your house, and I'm not sure if they do this to this day, and present it in trial. Now let me just show you this. This is the way that it was shown in court, the money that they took from my house. Okay, now look at that. Wow. Millions of pounds, you might think. Yeah. No. There was probably about 3 grand there. What they do is they put every note individually so that it's got the numbers showing, and then they staple it or tack it to like a big cardboard thing, and they make like a couple of £1,000 look like a couple of £1,000,000. You know what I mean? Fair to them, they're after the conviction. They're using every trick in the book. But anyway, yeah, I just thought I come across this when I was looking through my photo albums, and that gave us the boot up the arse to make this video. Because you're probably looking at this and thinking, who's this grizzled old bastard in his 50s? Fucking sorry, pardon my language. I was always told that foul language was the crutch of the illiterate man. And yeah, I stand by that. There's a time and a place for foul language, but I don't think it should be on this, maybe. Anyway, yeah, I was just looking through some photos. Now, the thing about, see, when I was in jail, the majority, and I'd say maybe 80% of the people hadn't even left Britain. I mean, they were probably, I'm not want to go into their circumstances too much, but I did find that a lot of people were from like troubled families, they had troubled upbringings, maybe poverty was involved, definitely drugs a lot of the time were involved, especially later sentences. I mean, people break laws for different reasons, and not all of those reasons are bad. Self-survival, sometimes you got to do that. I mean, you ain't got no food on a plate. It's kind of hard to live off, I'm not sure what, 70 quid a week or whatever it is now. Pay electric, pay your rent, your gas, your food. It's a hard life if you're not working. And a lot of the people in prison, like hadn't been abroad, hadn't had a passport. And these weren't stupid people. A lot of them were clever. And I really did think that if these people put their energy, as much energy, into a job as they do into sort of like looking for fucking their next fix, they'd do well. They'd be CEOs, captains of industry. Definitely. There's a lot of motivated people, but their motivation is just directed in the wrong place. But anyway, the thing was, when I went to prison, people loved my stories, and a good storyteller does well. It captivates. There's not much else to do in there. Now that they've got TVs and that, fair enough, they could listen to other people's stories on that. But at the time, when I was in there, it was books, radio, and basically other people telling their tales or whatever. Now, I had a lot of tales to tell. The thing about me is, from a young age, I always wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to do everything that there was to do, and do it well. And to the ends, I achieved most of that. I don't think there's much that I haven't done. Yeah, there's not much I haven't done. Now, let me see, where will we start? Now, you're looking at this grizzled old man. This is kind of what I looked like the first time I went to prison. There's the long hair, okay? That didn't last long. You can't get conditioner or anything in there, so, I mean, the spiral perm sort of went, I think I mentioned this in the previous video, it went like an afro. So I grew that out kind of thing, and I did, hold on. I don't know where here it is. Yeah, and ended up, I went from that to that, and then I eventually cut my hair off. But anyway, like I was saying, I travelled a lot previous to going to prison. I travelled after prison, and I'm still travelling to this day. The thing is, my travelling's not as extensive as it was. As I mentioned before, I've got to go for dialysis 3 times a week, hereditary condition. So if I want to plan a long haul holiday, which means out of Europe, I've got to sort of give them, I think it's 3 months notice for them to contact like I say, a hospital in maybe Thailand, and then arrange for my treatment, the payment for my treatment and that over there. I did go there actually 2-3 years ago. I was in Thailand again, and boy has that changed. The first time we went there, cheap as chips, you could get a steak dinner and a bottle of beer and still have change off £1. Now you can't get a bottle of beer for £1. It's basically Blackpool with the sun, full of stag parties. Pattaya, actually, it's when we first went there, and this was 1990, it was kind of still a sort of small village. It was kind of picking up on the tourist trail. Had a lively couple of streets with bars and clubs and stuff like that. But now, I mean, gee whiz, it's massive. Skyscrapers everywhere, hotels, a lot of construction going on. Personally, I think the arse will fall out of there. I hear that Vietnam's now like what Thailand was maybe 30 years ago, kind of same prices and stuff like that. But anyway, yeah, I'm getting away off the subject again. Like I say, I was well travelled from a very young age. It was me in West Africa with the starving kids. Here's me and a friend. You'll actually meet him in the next video. This is in Thailand. A river with an elephant. Gee whiz. This is me and a few friends in Morocco. Now that bag of weed you see there, so what would I say is there? Maybe a couple of ounces? Maybe cost a fiver at the time. Yeah, things were cheap. And here's another one for you. We went into the jungle, a lot of us. That's me and the Red Hat. Um, we went by jeep up into near the Burma. We trekked on foot through the jungle, and then our guide built a couple of rafts, and then we were rafted down. We stayed with a tribe called the Karen tribe. Now, when we stayed with this tribe at night time, it was like a little family, hot and stilts. There was no electric, no taps running water, toilets, anything like that. You just had to go into the bush for a piss or a shit, and had to watch for snakes and stuff like that. They had a river where you could go get water or wash your face or whatever. Anyway, but at night time, around about 8, 9 o'clock kind of thing, this guy used to come around and set up his shop at the other end of the hut. And the huts were quite big, considering there was like 5 or 6 of us on one side, the family on another part of the hut. And this guy that used to come, and he called himself Dr. Feelgood. Now, Dr. Feelgood was a smuggler going back and forward through Burma. He was either smuggling yaba and opium and stuff like that. But he used to come and ply his opium trade. And this was the first time I ever had any opiates at all. There we go. That's Dr. Feelgood over here. And that's me sucking on the opium pipe. Yeah, little did I know that 10 years later that opium pipe would come back to haunt me and be a bit of a pain in my side. But anyway, yeah, if you travelled and you were in jail, you could demand an audience, basically, if you've done some good stuff and you've got some stories, because a lot of these people haven't travelled, and they should. I think that would be, I wouldn't say so much a deterrent, but it would give certain individuals that maybe don't know any better and maybe don't think there's anything better than the life that they're leading. Foreign travel or going to a foreign country, I think would open their mind's eye. Is that mind's eye? Would open their mind, yeah, to what's actually out there and the possibilities and the hopes and the opportunities that there is. I mean, it's the planet was big. It's getting smaller. I don't know if that's such a bad thing. Overpopulation, of course, and defoliation of forests and stuff, that is a bad thing. But yeah, I do reckon that prisoners, there should have been a programme, and I'm not sure if maybe there was some. I remember someone maybe 20 years ago where they were sending young offenders abroad. And at the time I thought that was a good idea, but it got like lambasted in the press and a waste of taxpayers' money, the usual old tosh. But I mean, putting people in a prison, and it's a revolving door. And I mean, prison isn't so much a punishment for a lot of people. A lot of people like the structured life, like the worry-free scenario. I mean, if you're used to that kind of place, it's a comfort. There's no worries in there. You don't have to worry about having money in your pocket to put food on the table. Food's provided. You don't have to worry about buying clothes. Clothes are provided. You don't have to worry about cooking food, electric. That's all done for you. I mean, they even give you a wage kind of thing. Even a cell wage if you don't go to work, it's only something like 4 or 5 quid or something, but it's money. If you've no bad habits like smoking or anything like that, then there's nothing to spend money on. But yeah, I reckon that some sort of thing. Now I'm not going to come up with that myself, but that's. I mean, I think it went on about national service before. I'm not sure if it did, or maybe just thinking that it did, and I was maybe speaking to somebody else. Now, the only reason I thought national service was good, now I didn't think everybody should be military trained, but I thought that the travel aspect and the discipline aspect would have maybe served a lot of young offenders in that well. You know what I mean? I think that a broad mind and open mind might solve these things. I don't know. The reason I went to prison, if I boil it right down to the bones, is greed, circumstance, and bitter and twisted. That's basically what it was. Bitter and twisted at society, and I was fighting back. In retrospect, in hindsight, is a great thing. We all wish we had it. Maybe not such a good idea. I'm going to keep this video short, but I'm going to make lots more videos. I'll promise you there won't be the big gaps like the last time there. I'm going to have a to-do list and I'm going to stick to it. If there's anything, please comment, share, like, subscribe, all that stuff. If there's anything you want me to talk about, please ask. I will talk about it, whether it be me, whether it be the subject of prisons, the subject of anything. I'm going to do another video on what they don't tell you about dialysis. I'm going to maybe be collaborating with a friend that I met the other night about Dundee in general. Because if you search on YouTube for Dundee, there's a couple of historic videos about Dundee, but nothing about nothing that's sort of relevant to today about what's going on in Dundee as a city. And I'm surprised that nobody's conquered that niche. And maybe me and my friend, we're going to talk about it, and maybe they'll get something going on that. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up for now. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it didn't rattle on too much. I'm not going to look at it. I'm just going to stick it out there on the ether and hope for the best. This is Pop Pop signing out, and enjoy the summer. Bye.